there, it's Anonymous Tea, where we spill the tea anonymously. Hello, 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 everyone. Hello, YouTubers. Hope you guys are all having an amazing day today, sending good vibes, sending positivity, sending blessings, and good energy to each and every single one of you. Thank you so much for tuning in. So today we are talking The Bachelor, Bachelorette. We have some divestiture going wrong news that we need to talk about. So Rachel Lindsley, if you guys do not know, she is the first black female bachelorette that was on ABC many moons ago. And she is in a nasty divorce battle with her soon-to-be ex-husband, Brian Abasolo, who is, basically requesting the moon and the stars and the sky in this divorce, you guys. Now, just a quick recap, if you don't know anything about her, she is an attorney, I believe from Texas. Since her season of The Bachelorette, she pretty much moved to LA and has been an influencer as a podcaster. I believe she worked at Extra or whatever, does like red carpet interviews with celebrities, is getting all these bags. And her soon-to-be ex-husband, Brian, is a chiropractor who was still living in Miami for most of the marriage, and I believe recently had moved out to LA, but they'd been living separate lives, right? And so nonetheless, in the original, I guess, agreement, because they've only been married a couple of years, she offered to pay him almost $10,000 a month and spousal support. And Brian is now coming back saying that he wants $16,000 a month in support and is upset that Rachel changed the passwords to Netflix to the internet because he is still living at one of their homes for free. So let's talk about it because this is on People. It has a little bit more information and details compared to some of the other news outlets. So it says the chiropractor claims in a July 2nd filing that he has nothing left after paying his monthly expenses, and he wants to hit back at his ex-wife, claims that he is not in need of financial support amid their ongoing divorce. Lindsay, 39, said Absalo's requests were not supported by competent evidence and far exceed the actual marital lifestyle and his need. In a June 26 filing obtained by People, the chiropractor has insisted that he needs support to maintain their marital standard of living. In a new filing obtained by People, Abasolo says that Lindsay earned a very substantial income during their 4-year marriage and cited his proposed financial needs as $16,275 per month. Abasolo claims his monthly income is $1,300, and after paying expenses, there is nothing left. He also claims that after the couple moved to Los Angeles in 2021, his net income was almost nothing, and Lindsay was aware of that, which is why she agreed to pay most of our living expenses until I could regularly contribute. Abasolo also made several claims in the filing about the nature of his relationship with Lindsay, including that she never, quote, showed any interest in his business and that her, quote, jet-setting career often took her away from our marital residence while I stayed at home. He claims the former bachelorette wanted him out of the way and not involved in Hollywood, and would go as far as to disinvite him to parties or events and then go with her industry friends instead. Additionally, the chiropractor who met Lindsay on season 21 of The Bachelorette in 2017 and married her in 2019 alleges that he discovered that Rachel had been disingenuous while they were living in Dallas after the show aired, which led him to consider not following through with our marriage. In 2020, when she took the job with Extra TV, Abasolo further claimed she gave me an ultimatum: either I move to California with her or else the marriage is over. Abasolo says that by the time he filed for divorce on January 2nd, he no longer trusted Rachel and had endured years of her verbal manipulation, as he described his experience in the relationship. The reality is that I was the one stuck at home and stuck at work with a wife who never wanted to be around me during our marriage, Abasolo claims. And People reached out to Lindsay's representatives for comment. Lindsay's June 26 filing, when she opposed her ex-husband's initial request for spousal support and $75,000 for his legal fees, she said that he was claiming to make less than he would if he worked at McDonald's. based off of his reported $16,000 annual income. Brian claims to earn so little that if he worked a 40-hour work week and was paid minimum wage in Los Angeles County, he would more than double his reported earnings, her filing indicated. Lindsay also claimed that Abasolo refuses to vacate her home, for which she pays 100% of the mortgage, property taxes, homeowners insurance, maintenance and repairs, and utilities, and cost to care for our parts since they've separated. As far as their marital standard of living, she claimed it was nowhere as near as glamorous as Brian portrays it to be, and that the couple rarely saw each other or even lived together during our brief marriage. This is a hot mess. But here's the thing that I will state. Rachel, this man was never into you from jump. Peter had it right. Peter was many things on your season, but he had it right, I believe, in the beginning episodes that he saw through Brian, that Brian was an opportunist, that Brian was looking to, have a come up and all these things. So he was going to say and do anything to get the win. But it was clear as day that Brian was not the one that you wanted. Brian was just the one that was willing to propose. And you felt, since you were the first female black bachelorette on the show, that you had to come out away with something, that you had to come out of here engaged and or married, and that if you came out single, that was going to ruin things for you and ruin future opportunities and future gigs and all of these things. So nonetheless, this marriage was really just for paper, for clout and all these things, because it sounded like you guys were never together. And it sounded like you guys were barely even intimate. You guys were barely around each other. It took Brian forever to, even move out to LA. And it was just all these delays and all these things. And it's like, this man was using you. This man saw you as a come up. And I don't understand, the biggest faux pas in all of this is you are an attorney. You are an attorney and did not think to get a prenuptial agreement. You actually thought that the scammer and you were going to go the distance. And I need to figure out what you were thinking. The body language in a lot of the photos, I didn't post it in this video, but in some other photos could tell that he very much wasn't feeling Rachel like that. But he was willing to stick around for the ride for as long as it was going to be of a mutual benefit. And he even said in one of his filings that Rachel didn't want the divorce announced, or that they were splitting up announced anytime soon, because she still wanted to milk other future opportunities to make off of, being the first female black bachelorette on the show. But nonetheless, this was a disaster from the start. He always gave disingenuous on the show. But Rachel was so caught up in his looks, Rachel was so caught up in just wanting to be married to somebody, that she ignored the red flags and ignored the fact that the person that she really wanted didn't want her and didn't have any plans of ever proposing to her. So nonetheless, this is what happens when you settle. And this is what happens when you go into something for the wrong reasons. But I, for the life of me, do not understand, especially knowing the history of these reality TV shows, especially The Bachelor and Bachelorette, of all of them, they have the worst success rate of these relationships. Whether it leads to marriage or not, these people break up usually within 6 months or less. So technically, it was a partial success that you guys even lasted this long, but it technically was a failure since it's still ending and you guys were barely together when you were married anyways. So nonetheless, this is just a disaster. And Brian, I'm going to need you to get a job. I'm going to need you to get a job, because clearly this chiropractor thing isn't working if you are barely able to afford to live in LA. And why are you mooching off of your ex-wife? Why can't you get out and work and make something of yourself? Obviously, you like the perks of being with Rachel as a pertains to her financial status and the clout and the things that she has access to as far as people in the entertainment industry. However, you just flat out don't like her. But you want to utilize everything that she has obtained, which is a nice home, a nice lifestyle. You want the Netflix passwords, you want the internet passwords, you want all these things, and you're contributing $0 to everything. And Rachel, here's the thing. I do not understand why you agreed to get married to somebody who did not have the financial means to contribute anything towards the bills and dragged his feet on moving out to even be where you were. That should have told you right then and there that this was not going to go the distance. This was not going to work out the way that you hoped for it to be. But you were so steadfast on being the first black female bachelorette that you felt you had to make this statement by not even choosing a black man to even propose to you and marry to you and all these things. And you fell in love with somebody's, pretty boy looks and charm, but was nothing more than an opportunist. And these are the things that happen, you guys, when you go into this thing for the wrong reasons, and when the person that you really want doesn't want you, so you settle for somebody else that you ignore the red flags for, all because they're willing to choose you when it's all said and done. And that is a recipe for disaster. I hope Rachel doesn't have to pay $16,000 a month to a bum, but nonetheless, it's not looking good. It is not looking good, but really, I'm surprised that Rachel's attorney, because I believe she has Laura Wasser, who's like one of the top divorce attorneys in LA. I'm surprised that they haven't really broken down like how little, number one, that they were actually together, and how, Brian even dragged his feet to even be out in LA, and how they were never really around each other. They barely consummated the marriage together. So how does he feel entitled to all this money when he wasn't even around to contribute anything? I'm surprised that they haven't broken that down, because this should be an open and shut case that this man was nowhere to be found most of the marriage. So therefore, how does he feel entitled to $16,000 a month? It just seems like a money grab. It seems like Brian wanted to use Rachel and wants to spend Rachel's money on a younger girlfriend, on a younger woman that he wants to be with, or whomever, that I'm sure he's probably already dealing with, but wants, basically to spend the money that Rachel has earned and that makes, and wants to spend it on another woman. That's what this is giving, right? That his notoriety of being with Rachel and being married to her isn't enough, didn't get him the clout and the opportunities and the same things that Rachel was able to obtain from being the Bachelorette on the show, and he feels a certain way. So he feels that because he took a back seat and let her live her life, that he feels entitled to the lifestyle, even though they were hardly together. And it's giving, this is just embarrassing. And I can't believe you have the audacity to request $75,000 for Rachel to pay for your attorney fees. Oh, no. But again, you guys, why aren't people getting a prenup in 2024? Here's the thing. It's not you thinking that you think that the marriage is going to fail. As much as it is, you need to protect your assets. You need to protect everything that you have coming into the marriage. So in the event something does happen, in the event something does fail, you are protected by the prenuptial agreement. But now Rachel's going to pay either way because there was no prenup. Because she actually thought that this pretty boy, what was into her for her, and not a typical reality TV person that was looking for a come up, that was looking to clout chase, that was looking to gain as much opportunities as possible, and then call it quits. So nonetheless, I can't, be like, oh my gosh, boo-hoo for Rachel, because you went into this for the wrong reasons. You chose the wrong person. You chose your backup option because he was willing to propose. And now look what happened. Look what happened when you were just so caught up in somebody's looks or, wanting to divest and all these things, but there's nothing to show for it. And now you're going to be the one that is left having to pay this fool. But I don't understand why he's still living at the house and why he's not been kicked out yet. Because that would have been the first thing. You're not about to live at my house and use up all my things and run up my electricity and run up my water bill and run up my, gas and everything else. And you're living the high life and you can't even afford to live here. Oh, no. You're going to get your butt out of there. You are going to get your butt out of my house because I'm not playing that, right? But again, this is what happens when you guys do not communicate well, when there was a first sign of trouble, immediately pay attention to the red flags and say, you know what, this isn't worth it. Maybe we shouldn't get married. but instead you wanted to prove something. You felt pressure being the first Black female Bachelorette, and you felt that this needed to go the distance no matter what, no matter how many red flags there were, no matter how separate of lives you guys were both living from each other. You still wanted to force this upon us and make us think that this was going to be a, you know, romantic love story, and it's everything but. It sounds like a total and utter disaster. It sounds like you guys were only married on paper only, but everything else was completely separate, completely away from each other. So there is that. Let me know your guys' thoughts in the comments. Please do not forget to like, comment, and subscribe. Hit the notification bell so you're notified the moment I post new content on my channel. And with that being said, I'll talk to you guys again very soon.